And so men of God, called men of God, the seer does not see any danger coming. And is busy saying, I can even make a call right now.
You want to God, we can do it right now. We can make the call right now, and it's done with the president of Miners Association right this minute.
A senior diplomat from Zimbabwe has agreed to launder more than $1 billion in cash in what he believed to be a meeting with Chinese gangsters. Al Jazeera's investigative unit has found the diplomat was videotaped making the offer in a meeting with undercover reporters as part of an investigation by Al Jazeera into networks in Africa that use gold to launder vast sums of money. Uebert Angel is a British Zimbabwean businessman and the presidential envoy. He claims to have made it to the Africa Forbes rich list in 2013. His net worth is around $60 million, and he calls himself the prophet of success. Alexander James has this exclusive report.
Good to see you, Ambassador.
Undercover reporters posing as Chinese criminals meet one of Zimbabwe's most senior diplomats.
Yeah. An ambassador at large, I'm ambassador to 85 countries. But on the special envoy, I'm a representative of the president. That means I can sign contracts, I can sign treaties with government without the president getting involved.
Woman with a trip neck.
Uebert Angel is also an evangelical preacher
Fire the Holy Ghost.
who says he has the gift of prophecy with powers to heal the sick.
It takes the power of God, but it takes somebody to believe for something to happen like this.
Angel was personally appointed by President Emerson Mnangagwa to bring investment into Zimbabwe.
He is my first ambassador at large assigned to promote Zimbabwe brand.
Zimbabwe's economy has been devastated by corruption and more than 2 decades of sanctions imposed by the United States and Europe. The local currency has no international value. The country's biggest earner of US dollars is gold.
You want to God, we can do it right now. We can make the call right now, and it's done with the president of Miners Association right this minute.
The president of Zimbabwe's Miners Federation is Henrietta Rushweya.
They want to invest in gold and buy gold and maybe send a private jet, picks up gold every week.
That's perfect. No, that's okay. Let's do it, bro.
$5 million can be cleaned every week.
We get gold worth $5 million every week. We take it out, bring another $5 million.
The ambassador is not bothered that the cash is being laundered.
It's money that cannot be declared in the country of origin.
We've already discussed it. We don't want to talk about it.
He explains a plan to smuggle the dirty cash into Zimbabwe using his diplomatic status.
Right now I can put a bag like this with 1.2 billion and put a red tape written diplomat. That's it.
Under the Vienna Convention, states agree to exempt diplomatic luggage from airport searches.
It's a very, very easy thing. It will land in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe can't touch it until I get to my house. Yeah, you can understand. So they can be a diplomatic plane.
Ambassador Angel, Henrietta Rushweya and President Mnangagwa did not respond to our request for comment. Alexander James, Al Jazeera.
And you can watch the first part of the 4-part series in the Al Jazeera investigation, Gold Mafia, the Laundry Service, on Thursday at 20 GMT. Hopewell Chinono is an anti-corruption activist and documentary maker, and he's in Harare and now with us live. Good to have you with us. The findings of this investigation are shocking, but do they surprise you?
Thank you very much for hosting me. The findings are shocking to the outside world, but they're not shocking to journalists or investigative journalists like myself, because we've always reported about these things. But what Al Jazeera has done, which we were not able to do, is to put the evidence and to have the people speaking themselves about how they are involved in the looting of public funds, the plunder of Zimbabwe's natural resources, the smuggling of these resources, and the laundering of money using state institutions, as they said in the documentary film. most journalists in this country that have come across this information are afraid to report about it because they will be thrown into prison. I've been thrown into prison myself 3 times, and one of the reasons that I was thrown into prison is because Henrietta Rishwaya, who is the president's niece and who has been exposed in this documentary film by Al Jazeera, was also caught at Zimbabwe's Robert Mugabe International Airport in October of 2020, trying to smuggle 6.7 kilograms of gold to Dubai. When she was caught, she was offered a bail deal where the state would not oppose bail. And when I exposed that, I was arrested, thrown into prison for 25 days. And so a lot of journalists are afraid to report on these issues because they look at what has happened to me and they are afraid of being thrown into prison because nobody is able to help them out. But now that Al Jazeera has put this information out, it's important for local journalists to look at it and report on it because it's not coming from them, it's coming from an international news network.
Has there been any response, any official response from people in Zimbabwe?
Well, the government has not responded officially, but the ruling party has used one of its Twitter handles to dismiss the film on the basis that it does not involve a government minister or it does not involve a civil servant. But the fact of the matter is, as Al Jazeera said in its press release, there are 4 films. So we are still waiting to see what else comes. But the fact that the ambassador at large, who was appointed by the president of the republic, President Emerson Mnangagwa, is involved not only in the smuggling of gold or laundering of money, but also charging people to have access to the president is criminal. So we are now waiting to see whether the government is going to prosecute these people. But we are not hopeful based on what has happened in the past.
OK, well, that's interesting, isn't it? What does it do, though, to the government's argument in Zimbabwe that its economic woes, of which there are many, are due to international sanctions against the country?
Well, this documentary film has destroyed that argument because we can now see clearly that there are huge amounts of money that are being made. One of the people in the film talked about making millions every week. Zimbabwe has got only 6 central hospitals, and they require only 55 million US dollars to run efficiently without any shortages for the whole year. So if somebody is able to make 20 million through smuggling of gold and evading taxes with being aided by state agents, it means that we don't have medication in our hospitals, not because of sanctions, but because we've got a group of criminals who are part of a political cabal, who are stealing from the state and stealing from the citizens and making sure that a lot of our people die from easily treatable diseases like even cholera and typhoid when things could have been different.
Absolutely. Hopewell Chinono, great to speak to you. Thanks very much for taking the time to join us here on Al Jazeera.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I go by the name Samo. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, which is KOLE'S Really Uncut. Guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's grow this channel together. I think I'm getting back to my senses right now. So, you know, there's this thing, news that has been, you know, flying around since March 2023, yeah. But, you know, there are some certain things that I don't want to talk about, especially when it comes to people in the forefront of Africa, that I can say is the forefront of Africa. They represent Africa internationally. At the same time, they make themselves self-proclaimed pastor or prophet. You know, it's so disappointing by the time you see them doing a lot of nonsense. Like, you know, I've said this. I think I've mentioned this thing in my in one of my video before. Like, my problem with Africa, we are the one that is selling ourselves to the Westerners. Now, I don't have a problem with Westerners, seriously. I don't have a single problem with them. If not because of we are the one that's busy selling ourselves outside, how can they buy us? Because let me give you a typical example right now. Like, In the olden days, there's always a king. There's always a, king in the palace. There's nothing want to happen in one city. The king is responsible for it. That means in those olden days, before the white can just come and just say, take over Africa, whatever like that, there's a particular person that's been selling us out. That is why we've been sold. That's why we've been sold to slave trade. You understand? And if you look at the way things are right now, we're in a modern slave. We might not be, Africa might not be under any British like before, but indirectly, we are putting ourselves under them. I do understand my guy, Hush Puppy, where they collect money from that side to this side, collecting money from that side to... But it's still flashing anyway because it's still buying their product. It doesn't invest in Africa, But what about some men that we call men of God? And they can see perfectly when they say, your fridge have tomato. Can I enter your house? Can I enter your fridge? Can I, understand? And these people are busy spoiling Africa. And they are busy taking our mineral resources, putting it over there. There's what they call allegedly. When they, in court of law, they say, investigation continue. You are not guilty until proven. Do you understand? So, but now, in this situation whereby you now use your mouth to confess what you're capable of, how did that case go? At times, I just feel like we need something like Iron Hand in Africa, something like a dictator. Understand? You are guilty, they don't take you to court. But you understand what I mean? I don't say, because it's funny, because they arrest somebody in Africa to be a thief. At the end of the day, due to your status in public, due to your maybe how you represent, the people picture you, and suddenly you become a saint because you think you're above the law. Law is under you. You can do whatever you want to do because you can call president, because they know, what they can do. You know their secret. They know that when they take you and they put you inside, you might confess a lot of dirty things that you guys have done. Anyway, let me get down to this news straight away. Bushiri Godfather. And so men of God, call men of God, the seer does not see any danger coming. And is busy saying, I can even make a call right now. It's so sad in Africa, seriously, because we thought one day Africa is going to be good. But even if white people leave us, we're going to still deal with ourselves in an abnormal way. So there's no African, the good in Africa is very, very, is very in a narrow escape that I don't really understand how we can handle it, because if we can be selling ourselves outside what we're supposed to use, if you see the poverty in Zimbabwe and somebody is laundering something like they can say, I can call now millions of dollars, like millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Man, I don't know how is it gonna work, but really, in Africa, we really need to stop this thing of greediness. I don't care attitude. Like, if other people can eat, it's none of your business. As long as you eat and full, is your capability. You understand what I mean? When you feel like you are so powerful, there's nobody can touch you. The investigation open today, tomorrow the investigation is closed. Next tomorrow the investigation open, the next tomorrow the investigation is closed. You don't even find anything. Listen, tarnishing the image of Christianity, there's nothing wrong with Christianity. But those people in forefront of Christianity now, they are really tarnishing the image of Christianity because they are using church now for money laundering, to clean the dirty money. It's not good. Let's stop this thing. And I hope they don't tamper justice with Mercy, because he is the one that used his mouth to confess that I'm into this. You know, I can, with the click of my hand, I can say this thing should happen now, and it's gonna happen. So there's nothing like tamper justice with Mercy. But the funnest part of it, if you can see somebody that is being in danger, that is going down, somebody that they are witching, somebody that is, the witchcraft is in his house, but how do you don't see that there's a setup for you, that you can just say, you know what, these people are meant for setup. I must not attend to them, to the extent that you use your mouth to confess everything you've done in a camera. I'm sorry for Africa, seriously, because I don't know, the single direction of where Africa is going is not even clear at all. Like, I can't lie to you. Where Africa is going, when it comes to clarity, is not. I'm not sure of where Africa is going and what we can do. You understand what I mean? So, just watch the video, subscribe before you finish the video, comment below, and let know what is your take about this African leader that's been selling us outside to the European country. God that's supposed to meant to fix the country, they are taking it to their own personal advantage. And you think these people are making money in church, where they are using the church, the name of God, for money laundering? It's not going to be more than this. It's called a reality today. Watch this video, comment below, and mind you, watch the video, comment below, and mind you, pray for Africa generally, if we can be free from ourselves, our mentality, the poor mentality of eating alone and don't care about the other ones. Africa will be great again. For me to you, KOLE'S Reality, I'm signing out.